folks. Data ops, new jargon for the day. You actually saw it in the keynote earlier, so I managed to bribe somebody at Redgate to already get it in for you. So, how many developers do I have? DBAs? BI people? 3. Everybody else? Managers? No? You put your hand up. You're just everybody else. Okay. So, data ops. Well, first of all, hopefully, ignore me, you know what DevOps is. You might be quite comfortable with this Venn diagram of you have your development principles, your operational principles about deployments and stuff, and testing. And that when all 3 happen in one pipeline, that's DevOps. It's the whole cultural thing. So I'm stealing their words and their concepts and applying it to data, because I'm more of a BI person and I'm now moving much further into analytics. So I like to take all these cool development principles that make life easier, safer, and more likely that I'm right, because I love to be right, and applying it to my area. So we got databases. You already know, hopefully, you're living the Redgate DLM dream, and you understand that source control deployment of your databases is a good thing. Well, it applies for your data warehouses as well. And actually, this is an area that has been very underrepresented. So if your developers and DBAs who are doing all this cool DLM stuff for your application databases, go talk to your BI team and get them doing DLM for the data warehouse, because there are a lot of data warehouses out there that aren't even under source control and don't even have SSDT projects. So we can add in that robustness that you guys are already on board with to an area that is really important for reporting and things. So that's the database stuff. You know all that. You're sold. That's good. So the next bit is BI. So we've got our ETL. So how do we get our data from our applications into our data warehouse? Or, you know, since I'm going for jargon and I want you to get some lines on your buzzword bingo, we've got your data lakes. How do you get your data out of your NoSQL Hadoop cluster and into your data warehouse, where you can actually connect to it in Excel or your standard BI tool and get information out of it. So that ETL layer is traditionally in the Microsoft camp done with SSIS, which is a pretty bad GUI over what's basically an XML representation of a data transformation pipeline. You can unit test these. There is a unit test framework called BI Quality. And there are project deployment methodologies, and you can do it from Visual Studio, and you can use the XC and things to get actually a very similar to DevOps pipeline on integrating your data. You can do all the versioning and all the cool things for ETL. And then you have reporting. So has anybody seen or had the misfortune to write SSRS reports? Yeah. So hopefully you've all seen the cool things like CSS is coming to SQL Server 2016 SSRS reports. But there's still no word on actually adding a robust framework that helps people making reports, and there's always varying levels of people making these reports. Some people are pure drag and drop and don't know how to write some SQL. And then there are others who are doing crazy things under the hood and using them to make tickets by going off and getting QR codes and things, or making big board reports and PDFs. But there's no way of testing, of making sure you're right, that your drill down detail report sums up to what you're saying is in the high level thing. There's a Coplex project out there which allows you to test, and again, it uses XML. So you could integrate this into your practices. So you guys as developers or people who struggled through actually using MS Build might be in a really good position to help bring that level of robustness to your business intelligence team. And of course, it's RDL files and their XML, and BI teams are a bit better at getting them under source control. So you might actually be able to help them do their deployments better. But you can get the full pipeline going. So that's for traditional BI. And then we have analytics, data science, buzzwords. So analytics is, I do a lot of R. We take a load of data, we try and come up with some interesting ways of predicting what people are going to do off the back of it. And then we either produce some charts, which nobody will pay attention to, or we build web services. We actually start operationalizing our insights so that we can make predictions in real time. So when we're doing this, we might have different models, different parameters, and we need to actually test which of our models are most effective when plugged into your websites. We need systems that allow us to do all that deployment and all that robust work in much the same way that the rest of the website is being built. And we have that. So I'm a big fan of Travis CI with my R packages. I've got my unit testing, and you can do a whole bunch with automated deployments. But it needs even further some application of DevOps love. But you can get it really smooth. And that's DataOps. So where all the BI stuff, all the databases, all the analytics meets all the things that you're used to tackling with pipelines and DevOps, that's where DataOps is. So that's why it's a whole new buzzword, because it's a whole different area with some overlap to DevOps. So that's it. No, that's me. I have some business cards. Yeah, I'm blank, I'm nothing. Do get in touch if you'd like to help discuss DataOps more and see if we can, hashtag DataOps, make it a thing. And I will let the next session crack on. Thank you very much, folks.